Hey Trina, I just read your essay entitled The Underlying Messages, and I really like how you start this essay, saying, yeah, okay, a lot of people might read this as just a story about an event, but really there are some messages in here that are important to note. And then you spend time talking about those messages. And right now the thesis is not as strong as it could be. And so then the organization of the piece struggles as well. So we can look at the thesis first. Miss Freeman's messages portrayed in the short story include, and you wouldn't put a colon here because colons need this whole part before a colon needs to be an independent clause. So you could say Miss Freeman's messages portrayed in the short story include the following because that's a complete sentence or an independent clause. And then you could do the colon or just say include and don't do a colon. Repression of women in a male-dominated society, and that should be a comma. Defying tradition, comma. Righteous rebellion, comma. And self-assertion. So I like that you have a thesis with a claim. Where you've got several points that you're developing. However, I don't feel that you piece by piece identify them. If you look at what your thesis is, the first thing we should see in this first topic sentence should be repression of women in a male-dominated society. And you write Adoniram knows best. And yes, he's a man in a male-dominated society. But saying he knows best isn't exactly speaking to that thesis. So instead, you could do something like, repression of women in a male-dominated society is evidenced as Adoniram shuts Sarah up or shuts her out or whatever, and then you develop that point. And then your next developed point would be talking about defined tradition. But look at your topic sentences. You say Sarah Penn, his wife, was left frustrated. So which thesis point does that go with? You want to move point by point in with your thesis leading as a roadmap for the rest of your essay. A couple other topic sentences. Discouraged and downhearted, Sarah continued to serve her husband. Again, that's good, but where is that coming from the thesis? So make sure that your topic sentences tell the story of your thesis. So that's one thing, is the organizational concern. The other is content-wise. I think you make a case for definitely repression of women in a male-dominated society. I think you do a great job of that with awesome source support, just really, really good source support for that. Defying tradition, I don't think you develop very much. Yes, you mention how people think that what she's doing is lawless and crazy, but it's not very well developed. Righteous rebellion, you show the quote, this is between me and God and Adoniram, and everyone else can butt out. I think it's good, but you didn't have it as its own separate section with clear organization. And self-assertion, certainly that's in there. But again, it's not clearly developed. So there is great content in here. It's just not always developed. And then let's talk about language. I just want to look at this first paragraph with you. There are grammar, punctuation, typo concerns throughout the piece, and I just want to look at them with you. So throughout history, there should be a comma here. Messages have been woven inside stories, poems, and even motion pictures. So it'd be poems, comma, and even motion pictures, period. Mary Freeman's short story, The Revolt of Mother, and there should be no comma, is no different. The audience is led to believe that this is just a simple story of a man, a woman, and the building of a barn. However, there are underlying messages depicting the woman's rights and justified behavior. That's not very clear. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. And then you provide this thesis, and we've talked about the comma and semicolon concerns in that piece. And I just wanted to look at MLA with you. Let's see. So in MLA, there's no comma. Everything else is fine. But you don't need the comma here. Well, so you don't need a comma here, and there's no comma here. So you have to study MLA formatting just to make sure you get that correct. And then when you do a long quote, there's different formatting for that too. There's a colon here. There's no quotation marks here. There's a period here, and then it's this. So you just have to study MLA formatting. And one easy way to do it is just look at the Purdue OWL MLA. If you Google that, you'll find it. It's really easy. And then, when you just take those little steps, then you can get the full credit in that area in your future essays. Good job sharing some really, really good content here, and I look forward to seeing what you do next.